as a black man, in your opinion, is it racist that in the past, you think it's racist that I never fucked a black guy?
I just like pulling the race card. Is it racist that you never fucked a black guy?
Or let's say I never, because there's been, there's been options and I never chose them. So is that racist to you?
I feel like on some level, yeah.
I don't think I'll let you go first, but I'll say my case later.
Level, because just basic New Jersey shit. I feel like most of New Jersey is mixed enough for you to have run into some black dude that you would have liked to fuck. Now, like you take me, right? I was raised, I even got material about it. Like my family is pro-black. Like all my aunts and uncles, civil rights niggas and all that there. I still got 2 mixed kids. Like it's just like, and it's not to say you a bad person. It's just sometimes people are raised and they're geared to be attracted to a certain type of person.
Okay, so I'm gonna, not to cut you off and interject, I don't think it's racist to have sexual preferences to whatever your preferences are, because people are sexually attracted to what they're comfortable with. And that doesn't, okay.
Ooh, that's tricky.
But okay, so you have kids with a white woman, but that means
Italian and Puerto Rican, man.
Italian and Puerto Rican. So you could argue me and say, well, then why didn't I, have kids with a black woman? Because I was raised by a black family. Somewhere in your psychology, something about this woman reminded you of something in your life. And it could be her personality. It could be maybe you had a teacher in high school that you were turned on by that was like the hot teacher that I really think that when people choose their sexual preferences, it's not that cut and dry, like, I want a white guy, I want a black guy. There's something subconscious that they choose what they choose.
I ain't saying that. I think that I think that, all right, here's how I put it.
Yeah.
When you're saying there's something subconscious that happened, I could tell you from me. Yeah. I know me better than anybody else.
Yeah.
It was literally the bitch, this is before we had 2 kids, before all this shit.
Yeah.
Bitch is cute. She has a nice body. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Let me see. It wasn't as deep, but I also don't necessarily, coming from where I come from, man, Monmouth County is really mixed up. Yeah. Like one time I was going through it and all my firsts were white girls.
Yeah.
Like my first kiss, my first head, my first hand job,
but that would still
all that shit, right?
That would still point to it's what you were comfortable with because it's what you grew up seeing. If you lived in a neighborhood that there was a lot of white people, that's what you grew up seeing.
But I also grew up seeing black. Like it's really just what the fuck I wanted to do at the time. And it's not like she was the only woman in my life. So it was like, all right, she's cute.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. And then, from that came other shit. But like, it really is, I would say racist, it goes down to like, if you don't, all right, you're racist if you don't fuck somebody because they're black. Like if you see a motherfucker and you're like, God damn, this nigga sexy as hell, but he's black, so I can't fuck.
I've never done that in my life.
That would be racist.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of like if you see who's your primary go-to for a guy, like.
You mean what do I usually gravitate to?
Well, I'm saying like if you had your dream dude, what would he be? Would he be Italian? Would he be?
And again, it's going to make me sound like some racist bullshit, but he would probably look like he could be related to me. Okay. And that's weird. That's
not, yeah. Listen, like I said, my baby mom is Italian. So being around that, you kind of get the general, like, all right, certain cultures are raised in that. And that's not a bad thing. Like that's not a bad thing because like, if I'm pretty sure if my aunts and uncles could choose, I would never have mixed kids. Now they love my daughters.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things where it's like, I could understand what you're saying, but if he would be Italian, right?
Yeah.
if you have an Italian dude that looks okay,
yeah,
standing next to a black dude that looks phenomenal,
yeah,
and you choose the Italian dude, I can't necessarily call that racist, but I would be like, what
okay,
the fuck?
now here we're gonna get into more territory because it's not that simple. Because as we've discussed, I have been growing more interest in. I went on a date with a black guy, which we'll get to in a second. I'll tell you how it went.
That sounds so funny in 2025. Like, yo, I went on the shit.
Well, listen, we're talking about it. That's the subject we're talking about. The thing that I said earlier about people are sexually attracted to what makes them comfortable. It's not always looks. So, for example, yes, if I had to ask ChatGPT to make me a picture of a dream husband, ChatGPT would probably make me somebody that looks similar to me. But my recent ex, not even recent at this point, it's been a year and a half, but my last ex-boyfriend was a redhead. I've never in my life, you could say I'm racist against redheads. I've never in my life had a physical attraction to redheads. Why I liked him is because I initially turned him down because we talked about why I turned him down initially. But as I got to know him, something about the way we interacted with each other reminded me of the dynamic. And this is going to sound weird, but it reminded me of a family dynamic. It reminded me like he was goofy and silly and he had a sense of humor. And when I really broke it down, I'm like, oh, that kind of reminds me of my dad. And as weird as it sounds, people are subconsciously attracted to their parents. That's
total bullshit.
Hey guys, it's me, your host, Andrea Pranzatelli. If you enjoyed this clip today, please don't forget to hit subscribe. It is my dream to become a full-time podcaster, and your support helps more than you could possibly know. So again, hit that subscribe button to help me keep the momentum going on this channel. Also, for every single clip, there is a link in the description to the full episode if you would like to hear the full episode. And I also have a link to my Instagram below if you'd like to follow me on Instagram as well. So that's it. Have a good day, guys. Bye.